Start right off fussing. You didn't put your last name.
What? Oh, shoot. I don't even know what my last name is anymore because I'm in the middle of change. So
That's,
depends
yeah,
on what day it is.
that's funny because I actually meant to ask you because I, wrote it up as the usual, and then I thought, oh, huh, wonder if I needed to, check and see. So, anyways, we'll see what's going on here. Let's see if we're not getting any notifications. I'm
Oh, good
gonna turn
morning,
our,
Yolanda.
yeah, isn't she awesome? Okay, turn all that off. Getting to,
She's here for all the craziness.
yeah. Where's our chat? Oh, there it is. There it
There's
is. Okay.
Carlene. Hi,
Okay.
Carlene.
AKA CJ. Totally cool. Oh gosh, they're excited. Yay. So are we. We were working on our technology and not saying nice things. And so part of that was we said don't say bad things because now it listens to us. So just note to all of y'all. So anyways, y'all, we had a month off and we were kind of trying to get our summers together. Kathy decided to move and stuff like that and get settled for a month or so. So we had to take a month off and regroup. And we were talking away from this camera was about resetting and how that became a topic that we thought we would launch off into. Kathy had worked on this process and program a couple years ago and had started it and is going to be looking to launch and kick that off in the near future. And so we thought, well, why not we start talking about what that really looks like? What is that? Why do we even care, right? And so we thought, well, let's start with the idea of like, I mean, what does that even mean? What is So we'll start with that question, Kathy. What does reset actually even mean to you?
Well, that's a loaded question, right? Because reset could mean a lot of things to a lot of people. But I mean, I guess I could start off just sharing my story um, a little bit. I know many of you who are on here already know most of my story because we've kind of talked about it, and I won't go into much detail, except that, you know, I went through a lot of stuff. I went through the cancer treatment. So I went through a divorce. I went through losing my mom. I went through, a semi, um, a bout of depression. We'll just leave it there. A semi attempt at suicide. And I'll explain that later. But you know, I just found myself at a point where I I couldn't handle life, and I didn't know how to move forward when I got to that point. You find yourself in this very deep dark place, and you start to wonder, obviously the next step is just to get up the next day, but then how do you move forward from there? And as a business consultant, I've been a business consultant for many, many, many years, and I remember having this self dialogue with myself, right? Like, okay, I help business owners that are like on the brink of collapsing, turn things around. How do I do that with them? Certainly there's business processes, but I felt like with my clients, I was on a much deeper level with them. So I kept thinking to myself, intuitively, I knew how to talk someone off the edge, so to speak. And so I thought to myself, okay, well, how, what was that? What is it that I do to help people? And I started to kind of write that down, and I said, okay, well, how do I apply this to my situation? And so that's kind of, because reset is an acronym actually, for the steps that I took to kind of bring myself out of that dark place and to moving forward and moving towards a better life, a better version of me, um, and doing the things that brought joy to my life and brought meaning and purpose to my life.
So you kicked off there.
Mm-hmm.
You felt like you had to reset. Do you think that that was a a beginning? Like, was that a fresh you is that the same as a fresh start or different?
I don't know if I would call it a fresh start. I guess perhaps. We always think like on New Year's Day, this is going to be a new year, new me, it's a
Yeah,
fresh start, like I get the analogy of a fresh start, but I feel like, we were born, when we were kids, and I think about this all the time. When we were kids, we felt like we could do anything. Like we literally thought we could fly,
yeah,
and we could be the astronaut, or we could be the president, we could be the doctor, or whatever, cowboys and Indians, whatever it was. We had no qualms about what it was, that we thought we could accomplish in life. And then at some point in our lives, we stopped believing we could fly, right? And we just got I guess mired down in all of the expectations placed on us. And we kind of set up in our mind this blueprint of how our life should look like, based on all the input that we received from everyone, our environment, so to speak. And at some point that blueprint clashes with our reality, right?
yeah.
And what our life actually looks like. And we have to take a moment to kind of step back and go, it's more of a restart than it is, a fresh start. I think it's more of a restart because you still have baggage with you that you're still carrying with you that you have to figure out how to either get rid of or learn to live with, right? And so I just feel like it's more of a restart, and starting from a place of awareness, and just moving forward from there.
So in that case, you get better. You don't have to wait till that New Year's Eve event of that I'm going to lose 20 pounds next month kind of feeling. You can actually feel like, okay, I can start right where I am.
Right.
I can, I can start that whole, I can just decide now I'm going to reset. I'm going to kind of change my path a bit, but I don't have to look. I don't have to go to another state for a different path. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to go out of my house. I can actually just alter this path right here.
Right. And it's like you think about restarting your TV, right?
Hmm.
You don't want to lose all the good channels that
Right.
you have,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and the programming, the good programming that you have, you
Yeah.
want to restart it so that you can, um, keep the good stuff and get rid of the bad stuff.
I like it. I like it. It's like cutting off cable and keeping your good stuff, keeping your
Exactly.
Netflix.
Exactly. Don't even
If
get me
you
started on cable.
so with that, do you have an example of something, one thing that you decided that you're like, I'm getting rid of this, but I'm keeping this. What would be your example of that?
Okay, so the first example that comes to my mind, and part of the process, the first E in reset is called eliminate, and that's where you really are starting to, I say evaluate and eliminate, and it's understanding who you are and what your personality is. And so one of the things I really really struggled with is, as someone that is undiagnosed ADHD, I really struggle with routine, right? And so I would always beat myself up because I couldn't stick to a routine, but I know that routines kind of help me move forward, right? But I beat myself up all the time about what I would consider, well, I shouldn't say I would consider, I guess what society would consider to be flakiness,
Mhm.
because I'm kind of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of person. And someone actually said to me that my routine is to not have a routine. And so I had to give up this idea that I had to write down everything. Now, does that help some people? Yes. But for me and my personality, I like that fact about me. I like that I'm very spontaneous. And I like that I can be more creative when I'm not constrained to this. I have to get up every day at 4 a.m. and follow this strict routine in order to get my life moving forward. Because when I get stuck in that type of routine, I don't become very creative. I actually go the opposite way because I get very bored and very frustrated. So anyway, that's one of the examples I have. I mean, I have a million things, but that's one of them.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All the coaches out there would be just cringe on that whole point, but I love that because I totally relate to it too, and have been you can get really poo pooed, right? Oh, you don't okay? Well, that's really not good, and it's better for you, and um, you are eliminating something that was a pressure on you that does work for some, doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
for everybody. But you got rid of some of that baggage of just that's kind of a societal pressure. I mean, I would say, or social pressure from especially this day and time with all the coaching and things like that, that it's like you've got to have this particular routine, whether it's, a food routine, a personal routine, a personal workout routine, like how your day goes. I do think that if for all of y'all that don't know Kathy well, let me just tell you, this is not like she's just like "Whoa," all day. It is not like that. I can assure you. This woman can put together a schedule like nobody's business for work and make it smooth as glass. So it's not like that. It is a lot of in your mental capacity, right? Allowing you to not feel like this time I have to do this, to that takes away from that side of creativity.
Right. And I think, when I was really, really struggling with it was, you know, going through cancer treatment, there's a
Oh,
bit of a routine that you follow, because you got your scheduled meetings and appointments with doctors, and you just kind of in that moment for like a year, full year, you're just going through the motions and you know where to be and when to be, and you have this schedule. And then all of a sudden that's gone. But you still have all of these doctor's appointments and you still have that are in these random times and days. My camera is black. Why is
yeah.
my camera black? I don't know why my camera is black. I don't know why my camera is black. Where did it go?
Where
I
are
see
you?
me. You don't see me?
I don't see
Well, I'm
you.
just going to keep talking because I don't know
Okay.
how to fix that on the
Maybe
iPad.
you'll pop up
Um,
somehow.
so let's see. That
Oh,
am I back?
oh, you almost were. I don't know
Am
what
I
happened.
muted now?
No, I can hear you.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear
But
you.
I
Yeah.
cannot hear you. So now what
Uh,
happened?
uh,
This is technology at its best. There we go. Oh, I had the way my iPad was sitting, I had turned the volume all the way down. I couldn't hear you.
okay. Okay.
But
Your
what I was
camera,
saying was,
your camera's still black though.
I don't know why, but so I'm just going to keep talking.
Okay.
Okay. So I got myself in this place where, because everything seemed to be scattered because I was going through the divorce and I was still going to the doctors, and it seemed like there was always like these repercussions from the chemo that would just all of a sudden pop up, and it would interrupt my day. And like I just felt so scattered, and I felt scattered because I had this idea that I had to have this certain routine, and anything broke into that routine, it would send me into a tailspin. So once I released that, I was able to go with the flow a lot easier, if that makes sense.
That does.
That does.
And we've
And
got
we've got
feedback
feedback for
for some
some
reason.
reason.
That's on
It's
your
on
end.
your end. It's on my end?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
It's coming
It's coming
back
back
through.
because I don't hear it. Oh, jeez. I don't know how to fix it on my iPad. Can you hear me okay?
Can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any other microphone on?
No.
Okay. We're just getting a feedback. But we'll walk through it.
Okay.
I can talk to a black screen. It's not going to kill us.
That's so weird. I don't
I
know
know.
why it's black.
Do you want to try? Come back. Oh, you were almost there.
Uh, says I'm in the show.
You're in, but your camera's on.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
I know. This is terrible. This is what y'all always have to deal with me. All right, let's see. Video.
There you go.
Somehow it had me on back camera. Okay,
Don't
whatever.
touch.
I'm not touching it.
I think your volume thing though is something strange with that. Okay.
Let's see. Audio input. Microphone.
That's fine.
Okay, noise suppression. Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Still hear me in your microphone, but we'll work with it.
Okay.
Okay. So you're talking about when you were going to, maybe if I try now. When you were going to the doctor and oh, it's okay. I don't know what's going on. When you were going to the doctor and oh, perfect. There you go. I don't know what you did. And if anything changed with those routines, it then put you out of control, not out of control, but threw you into a spin because something was off kilter. And so I'm going to reword that as like you had something to follow, like this pattern, say, of having to, go to this appointment, this appointment, take care of this and this and this. So it kept you kind of you know come kind of in a cage, in a sense, like, just in a working motion, but not really doing anything to help or benefit your life other than keeping you, I mean, obviously the medicine treatment is a different story about keeping you alive, but that feeling of like, I'm in the motion, I'm going, but you're not really gaining anything, right? So it's like your mind's not gaining anything, you're feeling about your awareness of life is not gaining anything because you're kind of trapped in this routine. And once that happens, now you're going to be, once something changes with that, whatever that is, it throws you off. Nope, can't hear you.
I thought I would try my earbuds, but
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Hi, good morning, Neil. Let me say hi to everybody. So CJ, I'm going to post that right there. See, this is a good pause. Releasing the belief that things have to go be a certain way is a challenge. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. Let me tell you what else is a challenge, dealing with this technology. I know. You're so close. You were there. Oh. Now you're black screen, no sound. This is the beauty of a live show. Is it, Jolanda? Is it? You know, I'm gonna need more in my coffee for this kind of stuff. There you are. No, I can't hear you now. So close. Oh, so close. You had this all figured out 5 minutes ago. No, I can't hear you. Go to the little gear wheel and on the screen and see what it's picking up. It's a perfect. I know Yolanda. That is. She's awesome. Look, it's a perfect time to restart. She said. Nope. There you go. Right, Yolanda. It is a perfect time to restart. She has left the building, left the virtual building, and I'll be back in a minute. We had to do this a few times before we started, so who knows? Who knows why that happens? But anywho, why don't y'all write in the chat? What do you think about a reset? Right from where you're at in life where you don't versus the restart, right? I like that idea of you're still on the same path and everything. It's just kind of you're going to start making some tweaks, right? Get rid of a little luggage, get some things, keep as Kathy said earlier, she said, keep the good channels, right? You don't, you don't want to have to restart the TV and lose all your good channels, right? Or your good, um, apps, your good different networks or whatever you want to call it, right? But you do want to just get rid of the junk, right? The channels you never watch. Who wants that on there? So if you've got the capability of getting rid of that, then what in the world kind of difference could that make? And that's what we were talking about this morning is to kick off this reset is to talk about how it is when you just decide to make a change, right? And you can reset versus having to restart. Let's see, CJ, what you say. I think we need to reset every once in a while in order to get a fresh perspective. I agree. I totally agree because we can get so stuck in walking in our same path. And maybe it even becomes a pacing path that we're actually not going somewhere. And so all we're doing is putting footsteps in that same path. And so we're not making any changes. And when I liken this to taking a walk outside. And if you are walking, oh, there she is. If you are walking in the same place all the time, right? That same, oh, I can hear sound too. Um, if you're walking and you never take a different path, so your footsteps are just the same, the same, the same. And so there is no fresh perspective. Yes, I can see you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I can still hear me, but we can work through it.
What the heck is going on here?
Okay. We'll look
Sorry,
that up
sorry.
later. Yeah. I was just taking over the show and talking.
Everyone's like, oh my God, this girl cannot get her technology together.
Don't
It's terrible. I know you understand. I don't understand.
it don't matter. It doesn't. It's fine. Oh my goodness, I'm dying. Okay, look. Good stuff though. We were asking what people were getting out of this, and CJ had said, I think we need to reset every once in a while. I'm gonna mute you while I'm talking. Reset every once in a while in order to get a fresh perspective. Shauna, this is Shauna. Let's see. Shauna said, like defragmenting the files on your computer. Oh, that's good. That is good. Need that defragment. And then Yolanda said, if you've had some successes in the past, you can build on those successes when you restart. Ooh, wee, that is good. So I'll let you launch off from there. Now I'm going to unmute you.
Okay. So, when I talk about the whole reset process, I always think about, going back to our childhood where, um, we have this belief we could do anything, and at some point in our lives, again, we start to doubt that we could fly. And that could be from friends, it could be from parents, it could be from those we look up to, our teachers, our coaches, that have instilled some belief in us, um, that makes us start to doubt ourselves, right? And then, we all hear about the quote unquote journey we should follow, which is you go to high school, you go to college, you get a good job, you get married, you have the 2.5 kids, the white picket fence, you retire, and then when you retire, when you're in your 60s or 70s, you can do whatever the hell you want, right? But it would be irresponsible of you to do anything different, right? And
Right.
so, a lot of us will go through that path in life. I started out that path in life. I did all those things that I thought would make me happy. Then I'm in this position where, you're told you have this serious illness, you have a 40% chance of beating it. And you have to really dig deep to go, okay, what kind of life am I going to fight for? Because the life I've been living is not the life that I'm going to be fighting for, right? And so, it kind of forced me to go, okay, I'm at this Y in the road where I could choose a life that was what I've been doing, the rat race, if you will, and continue to go in circles and wait until I'm in my 60s to figure it out and really start to enjoy myself, or I can take this other road, knowing that the other road is going to be really, really hard, but it's going to be so worth it. And so, I took the other road, and I've been working on that process, um, and yeah, so that's kind of where we are. It's the plan B that turned to plan A.
Looking back, do you feel like you didn't at first decide that you were taking an extremely rough road? Did you feel like you were just taking a little variation from the path?
Um, I don't think that I thought it was going to be easy. Like I could just snap my fingers and all of a sudden be different.
Yeah.
Um, I knew there was work to be done. I don't think I realized how much work, because it's like peeling an onion, right? You remove one layer and you think, I'm glad that layer's gone. And then all of a sudden you have a whole nother layer of stuff that you didn't even realize was holding you down and holding you back. And so then it's like, so you do have a lot of emotions, a lot of the past you have to resolve, past that, people can bury and not even remember, you know, past that brought up that was eye opening, but at the same time it was hard to release and yet freeing to release. So there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Where things were hard but then easy at the same time, which sounds, you know, weird or an oxymoron, I guess, if you will, or conflicting. There's a lot of things that are very conflicting. Um, but again, the journey is definitely worth it.
How did you go from eliminating things that were not suiting you? I guess is we're not filling you, we're not. How, and did that take, are you still doing it? And did that take a long time?
Yes, I don't think that, I really don't. This is not a, you go through the process and then you're done. It's, you probably go through the process and then go through the process again, and then you just keep going through the process as you uncover those different layers that you didn't know you had. Um, and so the elimination part of it, it's a lot of soul work that's involved, a lot of awareness. And I think the first part of it is being more self-aware of the limited, those voices that are in your head that are telling you that you can't, you or that you are something other than who you want to be, right? So a lot of times, for myself, and I still do this occasionally, I would do something and be like, oh, I'm so stupid. Like, that's a limiting belief that we have to just basically change how we talk to ourselves, right? And so, that's the biggest thing. And there's a lot of exercises you can do, but the one that I do the most is writing a letter to my younger self. I do that all the time. And so, because my younger self is the me, right? That part of me that I like. The free bird that believed that you could do anything. That, just that very free spirit, if you will. Um, so tapping into that part of me, that's that part of me that I like, which I consider my younger self, um, and talking to her through writing her letters and talking it out. So I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it's, there is a process behind it, but that's something I do a lot.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm going to mute while I'm asking you this question. Um, that makes me think, if you could tell everybody a way to get that, to kind of launch that off for themselves, right? If they wanted to do that, what would be a question that they would be able to start off with, maybe to their younger selves, that would help them kind of get kickstarted to write those letters to their younger self?
I think first you would have to tap into that younger version of yourself that you that brings back, like, we all have moments of our childhood that bring back these really wonderful moments and memories, right, that really tug at our heart. And so it's like you think back, okay, when was I the happiest? And so you think about that moment and how old you were, and you really start to visualize yourself, in that moment. And then you would go, okay, how do I not taint that person, right? And go, okay, and I here's what I think of. So I used to spend my summers in Iowa, and I would always be on my cousin's farms and with my grandpa. And it's the little girl that would pull hollyhocks off of the vines and put them in a little thing of water to watch them dance. It's like this total carefree time. And so I think about her a lot. And I'm not a parent, but I always look back going, I don't want to ruin her, right? And so what I do is I start to tell her these, the first thing you do, you're going to tell her your story, of the struggles that you've faced. And then you're going to tell her, these are the things that I struggle with, that I find myself telling myself. Because one of the other things I do is I write down all of the negative things I tell myself, right?
Mm.
And so I have a journal. So if I have a particular rough day, I start writing down all the things I'm telling myself that are negative. And then I reframe them in more of a positive light, right? And then it's like I almost have to go back and have this conversation with my younger self, about these are the things that I'm struggling with, and I know that I'm not stupid, or I know that I'm not this person that I'm telling myself that I am, because I see who I am in this little girl. Does that make sense? I don't know if that
It
makes
does.
sense. But when I can look at this little girl and the innocence in her, and the free spirit, and the creativity and all those things that I like about myself, it's like, how can I compare how I'm looking at myself today to that? And it's like, I can't. I know that this is who I am. This obviously is a lie.
Ooh, I need to drop my mic, but I don't want to break it. Wow. I think that's amazing. What a way to really get inspired and have it internal. A lot of times, most of the time, we're always looking for someone else to bring us about, put us together, get it, make us feel good. And by doing that, we can be let down so easy, or our expectations of someone saying something that, that's going to make us feel better, and they don't. And we're just going, man, you know. Um, I think the beauty of that and the inspiration behind it, of talking to that innocent, sweet person, little person back there, you know, from the beginning, and especially the part of talking about where you found the sweet space, the greatest memory, the happiness, the purest of the innocence to have the conversation with, is really where you're bringing back that positivity from. It's your positive words are coming from that beautiful, innocent, sweet little girl, to encourage you today when you're telling yourself you're not whatever it is. Yeah, I think, boom, that's show's over.
Yeah.
So good. I don't think you can top that one today, because it's so good, over the top. I think everybody needs to get their journals out and really think about how to kick off that process.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but that's
Yes.
just, and it doesn't even have to be that. It could be a success from your past where you felt like you were the proudest of yourself.
Yeah.
And someone said to me one time that really struck home, and they said to me, "You didn't. The only thing you've ever done for yourself is beat cancer." And it's like when you think about that type of thing, and I do compare a lot of things I do now to the fact that I went through what I went through, and it's like, if I can go through that, then I can do anything. So when I start to tell myself that I'm not strong, or I'm not this, or I'm not that, I'm like, you know, it's yeah, it seems kind of silly. I mean, when you actually compare it like that, the things you tell yourself, like, you would never let a stranger tell your child the things that we tell ourselves.
Right. Right. Yeah. That is so true. Hmm. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to cry or go and laugh after this, but it's wonderful through our challenges. I think that we're just going to have to keep this conversation going, because there's a lot to it. Um, Fantastic insights, Kathy. Sorry. We love hearing from you, and the way you've developed your story into a different, I mean, that onion is just going boom, 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 boom. I feel like it's turned into a flower. I mean, I had the blessing of knowing you in person, and as one of my dearest friends. So I really know this person, this amazing person. But I appreciate all those insights you've given us today. I think it's a lot to take in, and we're gonna just that's going to be our launch off right there. It's like, where you go from here. And I think you're going to have to talk more about like talking to that person. And, I think you can probably flip the switch pretty quickly. Um, because we dismiss children. I think that's something that we'll talk about. Like we can get there, but maybe we dismiss it, right? So you're amazing. We're gonna tell everybody thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna give you your last words here. Unmute you. Okay.
Okay, so I mean, I could actually share my letter to myself next time if y'all want, but I, you know, there's just so much to to that I could say about all of this. And of course, the technology thing threw me for a loop, but I promise next time I will be better on the technology. And we get on an hour ahead of time so that I
Yeah,
can
we'll get it
get it all figured out.
figured out. It happens. No worries. There's a reason for all of that to happen. It's that big pause, aha moments.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The popcorn
yeah,
effect.
yeah, yeah. Girl. All right. We're going to come back to this. I want to tell everybody thank you so much for coming to the show. Kathy, stay on and we will talk to y'all all soon. Make sure if you want to talk to Kathy offline, you connect with her, send her a message. You can always get hold of me. You know how to get hold of me, and I'll get you connected to her as well. Whatever works. And y'all have a great rest of your day. We'll see you.